You're watching Trigger-Worthy Outdoors. In this episode, Paul Susie is targeting two trigger-worthy bucks called Tenacious and Tank at the Trigger-Worthy Lodge in West Tennessee. Tenacious is a beautiful 10-point buck with long tines and almost perfect symmetry. Estimated to be 2.5 or 3.5 years old, Tenacious is seen often on trail cameras throughout the property. Tenacious has been seen on other properties nearby as well, and many hunters have him on their hit list. Paul's friend Artie took these pictures of Tenacious and shared them with Paul. Artie lives 5 miles south of Paul. There were a lot of people claiming to have seen this beautiful 10-pointer, and all the attention given to this buck was making Paul anxious. The deer known as Tank was more of a mystery. Estimated to be at least 4.5 years old, this huge, deep-bodied 8-pointer was only making his presence at night. It isn't every year that Paul has two trigger-worthy bucks of this caliber on his farm, and it looked to be an exciting hunting season. You're watching Trigger-Worthy Outdoors. Trigger-Worthy Outdoors is brought to you by Big Dog Tree Stands. Always imitated, never duplicated. We've given history of these two bucks Paul was after, so let's share a little history about the hunter. Originally from Ohio, Paul is no stranger to trigger-worthy bucks. The first buck he ever harvested was in 1995. It was a 13-pointer with a heavy mass, and he took it with a deer slug from a shotgun. That was the last deer Paul harvested with a shotgun. In 2001, after filling his one-tag limit with a bow, Paul was able to film this huge mainframe 8-pointer with a sticker point off his right G2 antler. Paul had to wait until 2002 to harvest this buck, which by then had grown another point. Paul harvested a beautiful 11-pointer early in the 2003 archery season. Early in the 2004 archery season, Paul had this monster buck stop at 5 yards facing the tree he was in. Paul waited at full draw with his bow for an eternity before this Ohio giant turned broadside. Paul slipped an arrow in the boiler room, and the buck expired within sight, 40 yards from the tree stand. Paul saw a huge and heavy white rack buck in the early 2005 archery season. This buck had a split G3 tine on his left antler. Paul was able to harvest this buck from the same tree stand that he'd harvested his monster 2004 buck. Trail cameras in early 2006 captured a tall racked mainframe 8-pointer with a sticker point of the right G2 antler. After several run-ins with this buck, Paul was able to harvest him after the Ohio gun season. In 2007, Paul passed on several nice bucks that were not quite trigger-worthy to his own personal standards. While his hunting buddies were still hunting, Paul picked up a camera and helped a young hunter harvest his first buck. From 2001 through 2006, Paul was able to harvest a buck a year with an average score of 150 inches. From that point on, Paul was committed to video hunting and saw this as a greater challenge and a way to share the hunting experience. Paul and his family moved to West Tennessee in 2008, and he harvested his first Tennessee buck in 2010.
Hey folks, I'd like to show you a buck that I just shot, well recently shot. This buck was taken in mid to late November here in West Tennessee, and he has a lot of unique characteristics about his horns. He's a 12 pointer, he's got an interesting little V right here. He's got a split G2 right here, and he's got some extra little points out on the sides here. So I thought from the trail cameras, I thought he looked like he was a pretty old deer. Has decent mass for a older deer. Pretty happy about this buck.
Now we're caught up to 2011, so stay tuned to see what happens with Tenacious and Tank. Trigger-Worthy Outdoors will be right back. You're watching Trigger-Worthy Outdoors.
Shortly after moving to West Tennessee, I realized that if I wanted to harvest big bucks, then I would have to grow them. I started putting in food plots right away. I like to put food sources in tight areas next to heavy cover, and my property has many small fields just like that.
Tank is a huge-bodied deer estimated to be over 4.5 years old. This huge 8-pointer is named Tank because his body's built like a tank. This buck has never appeared on the trail cameras during daylight, but he's been the star of the trail camera videos. And at one point, Tank had accessorized his antlers with barbed wire. And for days, he seemed to be content with it being there. Tank has posed for hundreds of photos, and a pattern appeared from all the surveillance on the farm. One camera seemed to always catch him arriving on the property, and the same camera appeared to catch him on the way off the property. If Tank was going to be harvested, the best chance was to catch him coming on or off the property near the trail camera. On this morning hunt, Paul is filming with his friend Brad Carson at the Trigger-Worthy Lodge. They're set up on a field near where the trail camera indicates Tank is first to arrive and last to leave. It's not long after first light where Brad sees Tank out in the open, heading to leave the property.
Matt.
Trigger-Worthy Outdoors will be right back. You're watching Trigger-Worthy Outdoors.
Matt.
Well, this morning we come out super windy early, and man, I can't. I'm just shaking right now. Big 8-point we've been hunting named Tank. He come out about, I don't know, probably 250 yards, headed towards us. And I stopped him out here probably 75, 80 yards. And I got a shot on him. He ran off. He didn't have his tail up or anything. So we think we got him. We're gonna give him a few minutes here, and I'm gonna get reloaded and see what we got. Stay tuned.
After looking at the video footage and not seeing any evidence of a hit, Brad and Paul concluded that the shot was a miss. About a week later, Tank started showing up again on the trail cameras, as healthy as ever, and he was never seen by Brad or Paul again in daylight.
Brad was pretty disappointed in missing that shot on Tank. We let things cool off for a while. The rut was in full swing, and Tenacious was recently seen on all the trail cameras. Brad said if I wanted to use his muzzleloader, I could. I decided to try my first muzzleloader hunt and try to film the experience all by myself. Being a bow hunter, I had never shot a muzzleloader prior to that year. So this would be the first time I'd ever taken a muzzleloader out on a hunt. Well, it's November 23rd. It's the day before Thanksgiving. I'm going out to hunt along my driveway of all places. Let's see what happens. I got my scent blocker on, and hopefully they won't see me or smell me.
Trigger-Worthy Outdoors will be right back. You're watching Trigger-Worthy Outdoors.
Well, I just smoked Tenacious. He came over chasing some does up through this field. Looks like I got a good shot on him, dropped him right away. So I'm pretty happy. Let's go down and take a look at him. Well, I finally got Tenacious. He's a nice 10-pointer. We have probably over 200 trail camera pictures of this boy. Got him here with a muzzle loader during rifle season. He was chasing some does, actually 3 does. He came up behind them. He was hot after him. I shot him about 30 yards away. He ran over there and then he turned and started walking back. And hopefully we got good video footage of him. So this is what it's all about.
Heck yeah, man. Look at there. You sure did lay the smack down on him, didn't you? It's a good one there, buddy. It's a real good one.
He's pretty nice.
Look at this little sticker right here. awesome. Great deer, man. Good job.
Thanks for letting me use your muzzleloader.
Anytime, man.
That was my first muzzleloader kill. Yeah, well, we'll get some pictures later.
Oh yeah.
We'll go out hunting this morning. You're gonna shoot tank, right?
I'm definitely gonna try.
What's kind of neat is we've been following this buck all year long since, what, August?
Yeah, we put out those trail cameras and we were slightly surprised that he was on here. Man, it's great to see the success we've had at the Schulze farm. And man, this is a trophy to anybody here, especially in Tennessee. They just usually don't grow them like this. It's a heck of a buck. Put a pretty good shot on him, huh?
And I dropped him.
Heck yeah.
Ready to go hunting?
Yes, sir.
Now let's do it.
Trigger worthy. When I take my next shot.